MudGolems.
European Dota right here with MudGolems and Navi.
Navi had first pick, and
Yes.
they just opened Clockwork and MudGolem counter with Mirana, and then they opened pick and MudGolem pick Spectre. I really like the MudGolems like in the first phase.
How do you kill the Spectre right now is the big issue. So
The 2 support has 0 damage.
very, very little, and it's not like Rubik even has some amazing stuff that he can steal either. So there's a little bit of danger there, and I guess, you know, it's always one to fly Rubik potentially. Roger's just been playing out of his mind on this Clockwork, so it's good to have that level of flexibility that we've seen in, like we were talking about before, Insania do for Team Liquid. Be taking a few learnings from that, but yeah, I'm really excited to see Milan playing this Mirana. It's one of his best heroes. He's always on point with his arrows, even going, you know, all the way through TI and doing pretty well with that, even though the team didn't quite so much back in the day.
Usually, like when you're opening with Mirana, it's very hard to pair it up with other support. Usually, like those heroes get spanned, but it's surprised like how they had to ban this Void Spirit, Visage, and Nature's Prophet, and then wasted their ban. Like it's sort of respecting 33's like hero.
It is, yeah. The thing that really gets to me is that for a lot of these teams, the meta seems pretty standard, right? Like, but with these two, there's not actually a lot of crossover with the heroes that they pick most commonly. So probably it leads me to say the team that does better research is going to win the draft, but it actually puts so much more into the execution of the game style. You can't just win the game in the draft.
Yep.
So we are expecting kind of a fighter hero here from MudGolems. Do you guys like to see combinations with the Mirana, or is it okay to just put a lot of faith on Milan hitting those arrows?
I think it's safer. Just why not 5? Like if you just pick off lane, you're just gonna get countered. If you're gonna pick mid, like you're gonna get countered. But yeah, just give. Oh, but like seems like they're just opening with 3's Bloodseeker.
Why not?
Yeah, I think he was showing really strong performance with his Bloodseeker. I think he never lost his lane.
And this is the, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first item earn that he likes to go on that as well, right?
Yeah, like some tanky, because like Bloodseeker has a naturally like good stats and good movement speed, so it's like very hard to execute.
Yeah.
Not like a Timbersaw level, but it's still like hard to kill him.
And when we say first item earn, we mean first item earn. No boots, nothing like that. Just earn rush is the way that 33 likes to do this a lot of the time. So
he does this on a lot of his offlane heroes, and I've been seeing a big resurgence of it across a lot of these other players. Seb was doing it across a lot of his offlaners as well, so it seems like 33 is onto something special here. But the big combination is if they do hit a big arrow, they've always got the blood right to follow up with the silence on top of that. So these heroes, whichever one V2 is going to pick up here, is going to have to be very, very mindful of that combination. Obviously, if you continue to eat arrows in lane, you're never going to really feel pretty good as a safe lane carry. But see how V2 does deal with this. But Navi, what are they looking for here? They're probably going to want
damage. They need damage, plain and simple.
I mean, even if it goes to the 4th pick, it's not gonna solve any problem. Might as well give like Iceberg the win condition hero and just pick Monkey King or something. Okay, like another Phantom Lancer.
This is V2's best hero.
Yeah, but I just feel like he's gonna get bullied a lot.
I mean, you can always just doppelgang out of the blood, right? That's nice.
Yeah, but it's just a pure like right click, like with the Mirana coming out. I'm not sure whether Milan will just stack up his raid man, but once the Mirana has like 1 or 2 raid man, like PL just can't lane anymore because he has such good animations.
Yeah. I don't think you even need 2. Just 1 Wraith Band on the Mirana and some Tangos is so much just to put harass out. Like, it loses its relative effectiveness as you get more, but 1 is just super value at this stage. And you even see a lot of strength heroes getting it just to be able to, you know, contest better in lane. And Bristol Maiden coming out, okay. Good setup and instant response from the Batrider. You would have to say that that's most likely going to be General's hero. So like we were predicting, leaving Iceberg's hero to last, making sure he's going to have the best laning matchup possible, but he's not going to have the last overall pick. So MudGolem's in a pretty good spot right now to be able to counter out whatever they would try and throw at him.
Yeah, but I think we have to give a little credit for that Batrider pick. I think it was a really good pick against the Spectre and Crystal Maiden.
It's pretty hard lane for the Sim and the Spectre to deal with, right? Because you don't really want to make sure that Milan's going to be in that bottom lane, or in the bottom lane there for 33 to give him the best possible.
Yeah, but usually like when you're versing against Batrider, like if you're a carry player, it just feels good. Like whatever the carry, if you're not playing Terrorblade or anything, like something that has this evacuating or like slowing enemy, and like clearly the Spectre has this the dagger to slow him and you move in fast at the same time. So once he has like stick, I think he probably will feel good in this lane.
And you've also got the CM as well.
Yeah, it's a
able to
double
use it to
slow, so I don't think he can ever like commit him unless they make a mistake.
These dives are going to be a lot harder, right? Not just the slow, but also the frostbite. Just able to lock him under the tower, get that hitting onto the Batrider, and early on it's going to do a good amount. But how are we thinking these last two picks are going to go? You know, is the Lina still in the pool? Nope, just being bound out by MudGolems. Very smart. We've seen Boromir go off on his Storm Spirit, and if there is one thing that they're lacking a little bit is some form of initiation. You've got the Spectre, of course, but we've seen how crazy he can go when he's able to pick it up.
Yep. What do you think Angle ban me? Because I really think like Navi should pick like
For Iceberg.
for Iceberg, because it's good against Bloodseeker, good against Mirana, good against...
The only thing that I can think of with Pango that we saw from the Southeast Asian region was the Magnus versus Pango, where the Pango did a lot of work in that mid lane up against the Magnus, didn't really allow him to farm all too much, so maybe Navi might be falling back on something like Magnus draft. They've got a PL who can utilize the power to assert, but
I think the Pango is purely respect for the Boromir style of playing. It's the hero he likes to play. You can get into a Maelstrom and deal with the PL relatively nicely, which is always good.
I really like Magnus here, but I don't think Iceberg will... I think maybe Iceberg will go something more like a roaming and like also about...
Neither team's really mag pickers for the mid lane.
I really like Magnus like coming out.
So you guys usually want to see Iceberg on a win condition. Magnus doesn't feel like that for them so far. Kyo, you already pointed out the Storm Spirit here for Navi.
Only problem is the laning. Like MudGolem will just pick Viper or something because they are playing Viper against the Storm, and I think he racked very hard.
Yep. I think it doesn't even need to be the win condition, right? Like the PL is your win condition. You just need to do something that's going to be able to stomp the lanes, that's going to be able to rotate through when the Batrider's trying to get these pickoffs. Some good burst damage before the rotations can come from MudGolems.
Or Navi can just pick Viper here. Just Sure. Lash.
Ooh, okay.
That's surprising.
It's aggressive, that's for sure.
Like it's not a strong laner.
Yeah.
That's the only issue. Like which means like MudGolem can maybe pick up or...
We saw it in that last game where
Storm
Queen of Pain played against Leshrac.
Yeah, storm themselves. I mean, the thing is, this game for me is going to be heavily dependent on how both Roger and Milan are playing.
Yep.
They both play these really strong rotating heroes. Clockwork, of course, in that mid lane, you just lay down the cogs, push someone back down to the low ground, don't enable anyone to come and help. But I think the rune control is going to be really key here. You know, Leshrac needs mana. He needs those bottle refills to be able to put pressure on and get out of that laning stage with at least a draw.
Yeah, and he really needs to be ahead. Like if you're bursting against Spectre and Bloodseeker, you have to use bunch of mana or just be high level so you just damage more.
Yeah, even like a slight loss in the lane is huge for MudGolems. They want to be able to give this Spectre the best lane possible. Bloodseeker against a Batrider isn't the worst, and yeah, we're seeing a Storm Spirit. It's a Boromir comfort hero. I'm liking it.
I'm surprised they didn't ban it. Like,
yeah.
They did ban the Ember and the Pango, so you only had 2 bans left, but is this a good enough lane here for Iceberg on the Leshrac, lads? You said he's not really that strong of a laner, so...
But Lash is technically more stronger than Storm if you get QE. If you get like a 1 or 2 kills off at before level 5, I think he's gonna be having a good lead. But I think Boromir plays so much Storm, so he probably understands those angles. Like unless like Roger rotates in proper angle, I don't think he's gonna die. Like,
yeah, I think the Storm Spirit was just, look, you can't ban everything. Boromir's got a pretty deep hero pool. It's the Storm Spirit. I'm going to say MudGolems have this one.
I'm going to go with MudGolems.
I'm going to say, lads, this might be a little bit of a tight one for you guys to predict. You guys are going to both lay here for MudGolems. You said, Matt, that you're expecting, you know, it's going to be a lot on Milan and Roger. Do you feel like they both have heroes here that can really pop on?
Not pop off, but they just need to enable their mid laner. That's their role this game. So whichever team does a better job at that, I think is going to win. And I feel like Milan, Mirana, honestly, and Roger Clockwork are both really,
Don't change your prediction here, Matt.
No, I'm not changing, but it's going to be super close.
All right, it's going to be super close indeed here. So we're going to get ourselves prepped and ready for game number 1 here between Navi and MudGolems. We're going to leave it with our casters one more time. It's going to be Pixie and Foggo.
the dogs you are.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to game one of MudGolems versus Navi. I'm Buddy Pixel here with Fogt. Fogt, what are you expecting out of this one? Do you think we're going to have a close one here, or do you think one side's going to be a little bit of a step ahead?
I do think that we can have a close one here. I see a lot of comfort heroes coming out, like the general Batrider. We got VTune on his PL, Borening on his Storm. Lots of fun stuff to look at here. It looks like should be a decent amount of clashing and a lot of focus on initiation. I feel like that's why I see this like Spectre and Storm picks. When I saw what Navi has, Navi already has a natural initiation a little bit better. I feel like MudGolems are trying to break that with this Storm, with this Spectre, so they can get all the information.
Sure, sort of from what you've seen so far from these two teams here, how would you sort of rate them against one another? Because they, of course, both have, obviously, to be playing against each other are at this position where they have won 2 series and lost 1. But when you sort of look at who they played against, Navi, they've had good games, but the only 2 teams they have beaten are Cyber Legacy and Windstrike, 2 teams that are now out of the tournament. So the question is sort of how much do you take away from that and say, well, they are actually, you know, they are as good as MudGolems, despite the fact they haven't really been tested as much as MudGolems have so far in this tournament.
I'm really looking forward to this matchup, to be honest. Like, I looked at the schedule for today and I was like, oh, you know, maybe people might not think it's hot because it's just a team name like MudGolems, but the way that they played the other day was like just precision at its maximum. So, I mean, I'm actually favoring MudGolems a little bit as well. I feel like Navi, they've, like you said, they've shown some prowess and all that, but it's also with the heroes that they've picked. I've only seen them look like super dominant when they had like that Mars, Phoenix, that Willow, where they had this great synergy. Besides that, they've looked a bit shaky.
Yeah, well, this is definitely going to be the test for Navi to see if they can step in. As you say, don't be dissuaded by the name of MudGolems. There's definitely players upon this lineup that, ladies and gentlemen, will all be very familiar of. And of course, you would imagine most of the stuff, straps are coming out of probably the brains of Fada and 33 predominantly. I would imagine. You know, we know these players are people that have big impacts on previous rosters they're on when it comes captaining or making calls at drafts and stuff. Yeah, no, so definitely some hopeful stuff that we've seen so far from MudGolems in this run, and I'm excited to see how Navi's able to do against them. If Navi's able to continue back, I mean, they've still had the wins, and I'm sure they're down for this. They absolutely want to be tested. They want to have these sort of big players to go up against. Yeah, because you know Iceberg always want to fly. You know, these guys they don't want to have the easy route. They want to go against the tough.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm really liking it. I like this draft. To me, like they both are like counterpicking each other back and forth a lot here, which is really cool. And then I see Navi takes the Lesh. I feel like that was just a steal pick, right? Because they have the PL. MudGolems has last pick for mid. They take this Lesh rack away and force MudGolems to go for something like Stormstar, which is fine. It can still work versus the PL, but Lesh, you know, we know is the king versus PL. You just crush you can't play PL pretty much the entire game.
No, absolutely.
Some nice planning from both sides for sure.
Well, let's see it. Have a brief apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen, but we're now ready to get into the action.
How dare you pause it, Owen? How dare you?
Sorry, yes, I mean, it's F9, I can't help myself sometimes. Press. We'll see what sort of lane setup we're going to be starting with. And sort of overall, I mean, it is a game with a Spectre in. Does that necessarily mean that this is a game where if Navi don't end it by a certain point, MudGolems will sort of have the clearer path to victory in the late game, or you do think Navi's roster does fall off here if it goes too long this game?
I mean, they do have good damage and all that. They do have the P on the left, who they're gonna pump out damage later stages. I just look at Dispersion and, you know, like Leshrac at some point, you're gonna have to have a BKB. Once your BKB gets low, it's bound to happen. You're just gonna get eaten by these heroes. They're gonna get, like, MudGolems at some point in this game, if they're not super far behind, they're gonna start getting the jumps. They're gonna hunt, and then Storm gets to pick and choose who he starts the fight on. So they can kill people before BKBs and all that. So I would favor MudGolems in the later stages. But Navi, if they're able to get the PL and Leshrac do all the damage needed, so they can run over MudGolems.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing from Navi. If, you know, if Iceberg and VTune can get like their first 2 major items before the Storm and the Spectre have them, there's definitely going to be the chance that these heroes are just going to be able to run them over and and both of these heroes aren't going to get a chance to catch up. You know, sure, we are seeing some great storm showings, but still very much a volatile hero. You know, wrong move early on in the game can really shake up Bornea's plan for the rest of it. So we'll see how safe Marty's able to play.
Ah, look at bottom. Immediately Milan cuts the wave and he just arrows the range. We're seeing this a lot now. It's just instantly killing the range creep so that you get your level 2 fast, so you get this advantage in the lane to be able to hit the supports. It's cool. Seeing a team, everyone doing it now. I saw Secret doing it a bunch of games, and I'm seeing them on the side of MudGolems. See how mid ends up.
I mean, this lane, it should favor the Lesh on the early stages, right?
It should, yeah.
It's hard to very hard to step up as the Storm.
I feel like Bornea can just farm fine, though. It can just always push the lane in. Its Iceberg can threaten kills always, but Bornea will always farm in comparison. So it should be a little bit of a farming matchup. We'll just see if Iceberg can do the big play and actually kill Borin in this matchup.
And then up top, back to CM against the bat and the clock. I mean, these two heroes on Navi, are they going to be able to find opportunities to sort of go for Skeeter in this lane, or is it just really going to be the CM that they'll be looking out for? I mean, how hard is it for them to actually kill this Spectre?
I think it should be pretty damn difficult. Like, Skeeter should be able to always just dagger and get himself away. But yeah, Fada, he can play at risk. But the thing about this lane is I've seen a lot of these CMs. You don't go Aura at 2. We'll see if Fada does do that, and you get Bite, and you just go for the kill on level 2. You're actually extremely strong as Crystal Maiden when you do have that instant level 2. Like 280 damage just from your spells. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, we could see that happening. I mean, already, you know, just Skeeter just making sure that using his mana to keep General spammed a little low with those early daggers. Roger's going to try and come in with wrap around, gets the two of them in the cog. Everybody get in upon them, and Vada taking quite a bit of a hit, but he's able to step out. Cog's for pushing back to safety, in fact, because he's fine.
Milan, double courier snipe down bottom, just playing behind the creep wave. He's gonna always want to fly pretty low on regen down bottom.
But what do they have left?
Just the 2 on V2, and he has the ring of regen, so he'll be sustained, but always want to fly. He's now, you know, 33's thirsted. So he's gonna maybe connect with this here.
The silence hits, but the arrow just off the mark from Milan. So always want to fly will be okay. A minute of play that this Rubik's gonna have to be very cautious.
And we see, you know, up top, he did go for the bite immediately when they tried to commit on to that Crystal Maiden. Skeeter, he's getting slowed down a little bit in farm, but it'll be fine. He'll be able to just get pretty much all the last hits. So now we'll watch what Roger does with this time. I think he can set up kills pretty easily on mid. He's going to go for this smoke early on. Let's see if Borninga gets caught off guard on it here, because it's going to be ruined in about 40 seconds. So Roger.
If the Storm does step up aggressively, he'll try and weave himself in. And here we go. He's coming in with the wraparound. Bornea starting to step away with that. A little bit of a slow from the lightning, trapped in the cogs. I mean, this is when you hit the Storm hard. Nice move from Roger coming in early. As they should be able to get away with doing this a few times before that Storm hits the 6, but at the same time, Bornea is going to be even more careful about such moves coming in when he gets back into the action. Bottom lane, always want to fly, does eventually die. A little inevitable with how low he was sitting around that lane. Take him out.
They're doing great down bottom. V-Tune, he's been slowed down a decent amount too. Just like with the Spectre, he's getting slowed down, but 33 is full health, full mana. So, he'll be full mana pretty soon. He'll be able to just continue pressuring this with the CM aura. Blood Red doesn't cost mana, so you always have the mana to be able to spam that. This is going to be a very farm Bloodseeker down here.
I think they're gonna have to see what sort of moves Iceberg's able to make when he gets his first item on. He's gonna be sort of the core hero to make the gap, try and burst out the Bloodseeker. As you say, at this stage against these two heroes, 33's not gonna have any issues down it. Gonna be pretty much full HP all the time.
V-Tune actually can't walk up to get last hits, really. Every time he walks up, a Blood Right gets dropped, and then they go for the arrow. He actually just has to have Doppelganger to be able to reset away from it. So every time it's on cooldown, which is often, he can't get last hits. This is quite a big problem for this safe lane right now. Always want to flash trying to reset the positioning with a pull.
Easy shot.
So Milan will just arrow the creep away, and then they'll secure themselves bounties as well.
The prize is mine.
You can see over towards the mid now. Bornea, now he's hitting the 6. At least he's closing in on it. He's just staying away from the mid lane entirely. Roger is going for the long walk around, knows that he's in the jungle.
But this was a
Borneo.
regen rune. Borning is full HP, full mana.
Yeah.
Even as bounty as well too. So he'll hit 6 off this mock camp.
Even if Roger finds him, there's not going to be really too much at all he can do. If anything, Boron here might be able to turn and start punching in on the clock.
Yeah.
As Roger will continue to sweep down bottom, doesn't find the storm, but might be able to use his efforts to try and do something about this bottom lane and see if he can catch 33. It's 33, staying in deep.
Still.
Time's going to come in for Roger to head in. They actually get on top of him though. He's trying to close the gap, Roger. 33. Just be a little too speedy. He's going to have another bug ride to lay down. Milan's actually trying to jump in and kill off. Always want to fly here. Milan, he's got the backup of Fada. Still, Roger continuing to chase 33, but now they're low enough that 33 is able to speed up and get out of there. Roger can't close the gap.
Exactly. That's what Milan was actually. I don't think he was thinking he could kill Rubik, but if he gets him low enough, 33 gets move speed, so he's able to run away from clock. That's some nice play there.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. That's exactly what it was doing then. That's some smart stuff.
Yep. Now we're seeing 3 heroes on bottom. So this general is going to be happy because of this. As soon as he's in a 1v1 matchup versus the Spectre, it's very nice for the Bat Rider. He's actually just going to commit on the Skitter immediately. Up top here.
Got the damage from the flame break. Stick charges come out. Skeeter off to the side. And he's going to be saved here by Baronier. Coming in with a zip. General pops the fair fire. Tries to get another hit onto Skeeter, but he's not going to be allowed to. Baronier keeping his carry safe. The Skeeter will live. Salved up as well. He's going to be back to full HP, back to farming. And very important. I mean, if there is anyone on Navi's side that has the potential to get ahead and start taking control of the game, it is General's Bat. So if MudGolems are able to react to those moves early on, the game's going to get so much easier for them if they can just keep General under control.
Yeah, huge move, honestly, from Borning. I love that. Being able to counter gank for his Spectre. You have to know that gank is going to come, too. You have to know that the Bat Rider is going to commit because you don't have a support sitting behind the Spectre. And he'll have the TP available again soon. I didn't see actually if he popped the Arcane Rune before or after the TP, but either way, it's going to be up in about 2 seconds, so he'll be able to help out top if they go for another dive play. Iceberg connects the stun onto Min, but Borninge will be able to just zip away.
Still with the 3-pole charge is good to go, so be able to set himself in position to constantly be ready and be on the call if they do need help on the side lanes. Bottom lane, of course, that's not going to be necessary. 33 continuing to have no issues with the space that he's finding down. There's nobody putting a stop to him.
They broke the safe lane. The PL actually has to go start to farm mid, which is not great versus Boran Inghead. This is...
so this is early as well, especially when it's just level 4 on the PL.
And he's so under level. Spectre's level 6 and change.
They are looking for Fada here in the jungle. Roger, he's in onto the CF. Iceberg's tried to step in, but Boran here, he's zipping around on top of him. Skeeter does get caught up by the stun. He's getting burst over the stick charges, and he's fine. Skeeter will live.
Now
As they take down Iceberg, Roger will step away. Cogs buying him some safety. There's the man that's not quite enough for Barney to chase on, but 33 and Milan that wrapped around and they're on top of him. He's stuck in the pit. Roger, he's going to go down too. He's trying to deny himself to Roche. It's not going to happen. On Navi.
They might be able to catch him if they can get the slows. Bit deep the arrow.
Oh, that's a fantastic arrow from Milan. And this is spooking up a little bit, right? As we're coming into the 9th minute, 6-2. 2K lead here for MudGolems. Some moves in response to Navi. Navi, they're still trying to go. Iceberg, he's straight up.
Iceberg's far from his team right now.
He wants to fight, but they're all here.
Uh-oh.
Iceberg, is he going to live? He's silenced and he's dead. I mean, what was the... He stepped right up, hid in the trees. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're aware that they were all there because they did just see them all. I guess he just felt the rest of Navi would be behind him in time, but it wasn't the case.
Yeah.
I mean, that hurts big time. You just lost Iceberg 2 times in a row.
Yeah, I mean, he was the first one to die, so he was the first one to respawn in the fight. He gets there fast, but his teammates, they weren't back up in time yet. Just way too over-aggressive. MudGolems, you know, they had this defensive ward placed down. They see them walking in, and then they just outnumber. They bring all 5 heroes. Navi, not only can they not outnumber there, they're not ready to fight versus 5 heroes. Like you said, PL was level 4. He just hit level 5 during that entire stuff that was going on. No way that he can look to fight. Already level 6 up onto Milan. Clockwork level 4, same thing for the Rubik. These levels, massive for MudGolems as well as that gold disparity.
Is under attack.
Good step from Iceberg. Will at least be able to stop Barney getting his hands on the regen rune. Still, though, Barney's going to grab the kit. He's in, onto Iceberg. Fada's turning up as well. Iceberg's going to fall. Another death. I mean, this is painful. He's still third on the net worth, but 3 deaths back to back now. And his game is also important, specifically so because the PL had such a tough opening to this. If Iceberg's game starts to get crushed, I mean, they're going to lose a lot of the potential forces that can actually drive them through this match. I mean, anytime Vogue, the team is 4K down at 10 minutes in against the team with the Spectre, it doesn't feel great.
No, it doesn't feel great. And also with a hero like Lash, this hero is kind of a snowballing hero. If you die a couple times, you become extremely fragile in the game. And I'm looking at the front line for Navi. They don't really have one so much, except for Roger, who find Fada here in the jungle.
There we go. Yeah, he's gonna be able to find the CM.
But I'm pretty concerned for Iceberg. Like, there's a lot of just natural burst damage on MudGolems. The Starstorm, the Remnants, all this dagger, like all these spells, it'll kill him. And he doesn't have a natural frontliner to protect him too well.
And you know what's really gonna kill him? Look, of course, the item rush from Skeeter. I mean, this is the thing to do right when you're against the Lash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is just now the newest, like, you just do this the Spectres because you can farm Ancients so nicely with it. But yeah, versus Lash, even versus Cat Rider, you eat them.
Top lane General, they're setting up for it. Barney is in. There's the Vortex into the arrow. I mean, they're looking good. I mean, you said it, we saw it the other day from MudGolems. Their moves and the way they play the game has been looking very, very hot right now. And this game so far, 12 minutes in, already starting to see signs of just MudGolems coming in with the outplay.
Yeah, precision, honestly, precision gaming, 9-3, no mistakes so far. And also, by the way, you said blade mail. They have double blade mail. 33 also has it. So, being Lash Track and Bat Rider in this game, you can't control your damage.
Oh, it's horrible.
You're gonna kill yourself.
Oh no! Oh, it's a nightmare for the Lash. It's a nightmare for the Bat Rider. What do you do?
They're trying to get trying to get some space to farm up. They need to have this diffusal, it feels like, for them to actually have fighting chances in it. But yeah. MudGolems already with a pretty explosive start, and doesn't feel like they're going to slow it down much. Again, getting ready to fight. They've got their Haunt. They've got their pretty much everything available. Storm a bit low on mana, but they're going to bring Mirana bottom as she's available to fight with this trio here. These three can gank and kill pretty much anyone. As General's showing in the lane.
Pressure upon him, trying to dive in deep. Does have always want to fly to lift back 33, but they're still diving into the room. Because the fly will be able to tap the start or not, but he's burst down. General will kill 33. 33 went in for it, and General's able to just hold him in place with the lasso. So there we have finally for Navi here, a bit of a trade that they'll certainly be happy with. General gets a free kill. That's going to help him get his bots. Pretty much done now.
Should be a pretty decent timing too. Not too bad. That 33 literally just ran in and killed himself. Like, that was really strange. I think he was trying to like blade mail. I think he thought it was lower, but he also got clipped by the blood right from the stolen Rubik, so respect all that damage. And now we're talking about lots of burst damage on the side of MudGolems. I think this is an item that you should have in almost 99% of games. Veil is finished up for Milan.
Yeah.
Pretty huge. He's actually so far 4-0 for Milan. But Danog was talking about on the panel, Milan, specialist on these certain heroes, Shadow Demon Mirana. He's owning right now.
Ooh, General. Didn't see him head in there. Cancels TP. He's able to make it out, gets back to base. Bots running their way. And how's things looking for Iceberg? Is that his bot stun as well? No, it's for the Yules. So the Yules complete. Over in the river. He's gone in on Fada. The trade between the two Barney picks up a haste. He's going to be ready to shake down. Always want to fly Vortex into the arrow for Milan. Another kill for the Milan Rana. Now Iceberg has he got the damage. He's on top of Barney here, but in Skeeter goes. This play bell is just destroying Iceberg.
Oh my god.
Iceberg goes down. They might find Skeeter. They do. Okay. They do manage to get the big kill on the Spectre. Barney has still got mana to go with. He's in on a V-tune, but not quite enough to kill the PL. PL will live. General, he's going to clean up. He's able to get the double. That's going to be a whole lot of money in gold for General. He's also got the lasso, looking down 33 into the cogs. General with a big turnaround. 33's trying to dive it onto Roger, see if he can find this clockwork, but 33 is going to get flame broken by General. The kill will give him enough heal to live, but no, the Fate Ball. Right through in time, lift up as well. The boys want to fly. They're going to find Farded as well. General does finally fall, but Navi, I mean, they just team-wipe MudGolems.
They just came out huge on it. Look at General's gold.
General got so much from that. Yeah.
He just got 1,600 gold from that fight.
Yeah. He got mean,
that's
yeah, that's
massive.
great levels as well. I mean, yeah, General's going to be smiling.
To know
Going to be very happy with that bit of play. I mean, yeah, you see sort of what highest level on the team was the PL at 12. He's now bumped up above that. And as you say, he's nearly got the blink dagger. Down on the river, down bottom, Morin here. Continuing to find catches.
He's still very scary. He has a full Orchid finished up as we saw him commit into mid there. So PL, V2, your game is very difficult now. No Manta even on the horizon, really, for him. He's going to be going for the hood to try to protect versus magic damage. But all things considered, it's actually a pretty much dead even gold exchange. The experience is just the one thing that General does come out ahead on.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire have
General.
fortified their structures against attack.
The way just in time. Bornier's got a juicy rune down bottom though. Another regen. Storm. That time is still ticking, of course, against the late game prowess of MudGolems, because piece of space down bottom. 2,600 gold into the relic. Now, obviously, once
item build.
that relic's done, be really sort of playable until Navi probably. I mean, are they going to need to get BKBs on these two cores? I think Iceberg and V2. So how do you deal with this?
Iceberg, yes. I don't think V2 can this game. I think if V2 has to go for BKB this game, they lose the game. Yeah, then they lose the game.
Fired up.
Roger.
Again, he's going to keep finding this. Warren is going to try and zip in and see if he can blow up Iceberg.
Love price, Yules.
The dodge by the Yules, and able to line up the arrow perfectly as it comes down for the Yules, but not enough damage to kill him. They've got the zip. Warren still manner to play with as he goes in for him. Roger's going for the TP out. He'll make it away. Over to the side, always want to fly. Will be left behind.
Run empty.
Getting the better fights the majority of the time here, MudGolems. PL still farming very well, but like you said, MudGolems knows what they need to do to itemize for the PL. So we're going to see these, like, I mean, I don't know if anyone can go Crimson Guard in particular in this game, but we're going to see these items picked up. The Radiances, the Shivas, these type of items that just own the illusions. General.
Trying for the pick on pilot. Underneath the tower he goes. The CMs. General and Roger do continue to just find these picks. Now getting the kills. Just that worrying amount of farm that Skeeter's building up as clearing up these stacks that will pretty much given the relic money.
They're gonna try to smoke to catch something.
This will be huge if they can get the Spectre.
Don't have lasso at the ready though. They just did use it, but
they've got the Yule set up. Skeeter's already headed out. It's just finished with the camps. So just a little too late to turn up to this area. They were so close to being able to find that Spectre.
He TP'd back actually to make it faster, so he's healed and ready to fight. It looks like MudGolems are anticipating this movement. Everyone's set up around the back. Arrow.
Structures are fortified.
Peter will go back out to try to finish up this relic, and V-Tune. Hood is finished now. At least he's got that to protect versus all this magic damage, and on his way toward Manta. Still a long time till he can get it, but he's starting to surpass the Spectre a decent amount. Still definitely needs to be in a more farmed position this PL. It feels like there's just going to be so many counters for him.
Do you think Barnier's going to be fine getting away with this build, the standard Yule's Bloodstone, or do you think they're, you know, when you look at sort of Navi's heroes, do you think there are still enough spells to sort of trip up this storm whilst he's playing without any way to save himself?
I think I'm okay with it because there's too many. There's the BKB piercing disables that just screw you. Yeah. Right. Like the Bat Route and the Clockwork. Let's say you do have a BKB and you die to one of those, you'd be like, man, this BKB was such a bad purchase. Might need to get it versus PL eventually, but I'm fine with Bloodstone. I think it's a really good game for it. As you know, you want to scale. You want to get this big scaling item. Yeah.
He's only had the 2 deaths so far, Barnier. Still having a great showing at the Storm 6, 2, and 7.
Talent as well too, so he's very tanky. I've actually seen a lot of times when they're gonna go for Bloodstone, they usually go for the static remnant because they're anticipating the super late game with the distance out remnant, but he just wants to be a little bit tankier in the front. So yeah, see, MudGolems, they're not trying to force any issue here. Cedar's pretty much gonna have Radiance done, so they're trying to tell Navi like, hey, you know, come at us. You're kind of in a position where you might be forced to make these moves because of how well Spectre's farming. And they still have their mid tower alive during all of this on MudGolems too. Now it'll finally die.
Navi in with a further push, they'll take it. About
General.
Hunting.
Moonlight Shadow though.
They found it with the rupture and the blade mail on top of that firefly, just reflecting so much damage back the way of General. Goes down. Skeeter's going to
Radiance is
TP
done.
back to the base. Yeah, make sure they're complete, ready for the haunt.
They fight here at any point. They have 30 seconds if they do see anything. Yeah, Navi knows they're going to play it much more casually, much more defensively. And now, Spectre Radiance is up
Yeah.
and it's versus a Phantom Lancer. So B-Tune, like we said, he's getting all this space to farm, but will he be able to carry the game here versus Spectre and a Storm? It feels like it's going to be pretty difficult for him.
It's not going to be easy. There's just a point where, you know, they're not going to be feeling too comfortable, MudGolems, but it's definitely that, there's going to be that bit of relief. You know, once that Spectre has the Radiance done and you know that the game's, well, particularly when the game's still in a position where you know that you do already have the lead, you're going to be feeling pretty cozy, I think, if you're MudGolems around Skeeter Spectre.
Yeah, almost pipe as well on 33, so, you know, mostly that magic damage coming from the Lash. He'll be able to protect versus that a lot, too. Two Bruisers now looking to catch. Roger as well as General trying to find the target here. Smoke. It's not MudGolems. Bornia is kind of baiting here.
Fine fodder in the trees, 33. Stepping up, the horse actually going to come out. See, they're going to go for first. Big Zip looking to blow up Iceberg. Straight away, they'll look for the Lash. Iceberg buys a bit of time with the Yule's up, but he's been left behind. Iceberg will get taken out. Can they chase for anything more? 33's trying. Roger will hold him back with a hook shot on the cogs. Use the Moonlight to go further. There's still mana to play with. Boromir with a Big Zip all the way over to Roger. Picked up a third kill for the team. 3 down on Navi. Now Niall's starting to see the damage that's done with the Spectre Radiance at good timing. These team fights when it haunts up are going to feel pretty impossible for Navi to take, as again getting to that stage where Navi's just got to do a lot whilst Haunt is down, and if it is up, they've got to be jumping the Spectre if they're jumping anyone at all.
It's like what we were mentioning at the beginning of the game, right? The way that these two teams drafted versus each other. Navi, they have natural initiation just built into the lineup, but that's why they have the Storm Spectre. That's why they went for this type of draft style. So they know if they pop that Haunt, immediately Navi's initiation is broken, and MudGolems is just gonna run them down. Navi has to full bail, it feels like, on those Haunts if they don't get the jump at the same time. Feeling harder and harder for V-Tune to solo carry this game, because as we said, you know, Iceberg, a couple of those deaths in the beginning, it's really done its toll. He's getting close to BKB, but he's so damn fragile. Every single time they're gonna focus fire him.
Coming in.
Here now. Found General, and General, he's not got any escape. Or maybe he does. Barney's a little scared. Doesn't actually fully commit for the kill there. He's, I guess just worried that there'd be backup behind him. Barney still had mana to play with, but takes the safer route and doesn't choose to overcommit. Even though he would have got away with it.
Yeah, doesn't have, you know, we got that bird's eye view. He doesn't.
Yeah, for sure. they don't just have any sort of vision at the moment.
Yeah.
Of his jungle. It's just dark.
They only saw V-Tune on the left side.
Yeah.
They saw nobody else. And speaking of V-Tune, he does have Manta finished. Level 18 as well, so they're trying to go off this with the timer here. General, fire in. Warning here.
Oh, that'll be a good one. They've got him in the lasso. Dragging him back into the stun. Take him down. Little more they can find here. Navi's going to try and chase further. Milan pots the Moonlight.
Stolen Moonlight Shadow, actually, too.
Walking right. Now with the invis chase, do they have the detection? That just has been popped, but MudGolems are already out of the range.
Is under attack.
Got 50 seconds without the storm, so a bit of timing for Navi to get some jobs done.
Haunt is available right
Tier
now
2.
for Skeeter if they want to try to commit something. Just trying to defend the tower as long as possible for here. Yeah, great grab though. Navi. That's what they need to do, like we were talking about before. Try to capitalize as
Jump
much
the
as you
storm
can.
Spectre.
Yeah, and during that cooldown of Haunt is when you have to be making those plays. Right.
Radiant's bottom tower
Now they're gonna have to
is
start
under
backing up though. Storm is respawning very soon, and we do have those bounties spawning as he respawns.
So Navi will be able to just get the two up top.
Dive's top tower is
Into
under
there, it's
attack.
down.
Put them down a decent amount though. They're at like 7k net worth lead. Now they're at the 5k. You know, Navi's move definitely did do a tiny bit of damage there, which they need.
Yeah.
This'll come in
At
handy.
least for V-Tune to try to be able to carry this game. He's gonna go for the Basher, probably go for the Abyssal eventually.
Yeah, you could definitely, this is, Navi is not playing bad. They're still playing well. It's just the nature of the heroes that they have. It's a lot harder for Navi, it feels, this game. But with the draft and the game being in the position that it is, Navi's still trying their best to get something out of these fights, but they've got to keep it at top form.
Here's the jump. The Haunt is still available too if they see anything else. It's just gonna be a pick-off for now, though. And yeah, this all is that big snowball of, because the Leshrac died a couple times. Like, if it was Navi with Iceberg a couple more kills, then they'd be the ones maybe a little bit more aggressive here.
Yeah, I think you're right as well. Because they're not that far behind at the moment. It feels that they're further behind because they are against this very farm Spectre. But yeah, you're right. If Iceberg would have been able to have more of a game, a bit better of a start, then maybe it would have been a little closer. But as it is, kills continue to be found here by MudGolems.
Oh, big pickoffs.
So as always want to fly as well. Already at 9, 3, and 10.
There's some huge kills as now mid tower will be on the docket. Milan also just picked up an Axe, by the way. 33.
Try, but
Strong 33.
yeah, just leave it with the blade pop. They don't want to commit any further.
And yeah, dude, Milan has an Agonist, by the way. He's the same farm as the Bat Rider on the opposing team. And that's more ways to clear illusions with a Veil, too.
Radiant's middle
Piranha,
tower
8,
is
1, and 11. Milan. Damn. Always there for the follow-up for Burning here, it seems. As they're swooping.
V-Tune is still, he's carrying his heart out the best he can. I mean, look at the farm that this PL has. He hasn't been involved in much action, but V-Tune has been farmed exceptionally well. I found him, but they got the chain started. He's getting all the batteries off, but he's still able to zip out and pop that punch from the hill, and now they'll turn. Iceberg pots the BKB, but he's just going to still die straight through it. He turn the lasso onto Barney. Can V-Tune clean up? He's moving in, but the blood right comes out. They just don't have the damage to kill the Spectre. Finally, they do. The last bit of burst will kill Skeeter, but it's at the cost of 4 of their own lives. It just takes so much to kill the Spectre right now, and of course with the dispersion in the blade now, so much damage is done during that process of trying to kill him as well.
Fly still hiding here. The sentry's down.
Oh, they've hit him with the scan. They know he's around. They scanned him out. They're going to be able to find him as well. You cannot hide from the MudGolems.
Damn.
As now it is getting to a pretty severe lead here. 31 to 14, 10k lead.
Look at how much damage V-Tune takes here, by the way. The Veil with the Ags Marana, when she jumps in, the double Starstorm hits with combo of Blood Right, and watch, just boom. He's just all the way down to 20% HP for all they combine.
Yeah, it's just... I know that the drafting from MudGolems, it just was a little bit more solid, and at this stage, the lineup of Navi, it's very hard to make work.
Yep.
When you're playing it from this position, being this far behind now.
You just really have that big core, as we saw, like Iceberg, he has BKB and all, he survives a little bit longer in the fights, but those stats, they really have taken the toll on him. It really feels like it's V-Tune against a triple core lineup that's quite good versus his hero. They're gonna look for this Roche during the cooldown point.
They are not gonna get away with this.
I don't think so either. Dagger's already there to now Roger is 20% HP.
Yeah, he's got to run. He's got to be very careful.
Third vision of him already.
It's going to be cancelled by the dagger. I mean, I don't think that Roche was ever going to happen.
No. And now
they do not have the damage.
Haunt in 20 seconds now too. So also, Hector also has great Fairy Fire and level 20 talent. So I say 2400 HP, but he's probably going to get 2 greater Fairy Fire usages off.
Yeah.
If they do ever commit onto him. So huge strength here for MudGolems as Haunt about to come up. They're going to look at mid.
Just to try and jump straight away. Iceberg pulled on the BKBs. Ella commitment, some of the timing wasn't quite there. He didn't get the timing, so Boromir was still able to zip away. Iceberg goes for the BKB TPI. He'll make it away. So, all things said and done, it's Navi just losing a Rubik, and Haunt was used, so yeah, when you're playing from behind, you're probably kind of happy with that, though. Haunt only got a Rubik kill.
It's pretty huge, honestly. They can fight around this Roche. This might be a little over-aggressive here for MudGolems. Without Haunt available, Borning is huge, though. He has a regen and 20 Bloodstone chain. So, He can do quite a lot here.
See how they can start this indeed soon. Line up options, Iceberg. He's heading in with the smoke. Fighter already onto Fighter. Fighter's getting low. Fighter will fall. Zip on the side. Pioneer's got. He went straight into a lasso. They have the lasso and the stop. Pioneer goes down. Not being able to get him to turn over to Skeeter. Skeeter's losing his mana. He's trying to run. Features in with the bashes. Skeeter trying to hold his ground to be a buyback from Pioneer in an effort to keep this one in good position for MudGolems. Iceberg's run down by 33. Features still trying to look the Skeeter. The hook touch in from Roger. They push it back with the cold. Skeeter's getting low. Can they kill him? They can't. He's able to live, he's still alive. They are struggling to kill this Spectre, but they just can't. Pioneer comes in, saves the day with his buyback. As the fight may not be over quite yet, Iceberg, he's got the BKB back up, but he did buy back for this, so he's got to be careful. He's going to try and CP out. They got anything to stop it, they don't. He will be able to protect himself. Good job that he does as well as he did, as I say, buy back for that one, but at the end of it all, despite Navi's best efforts, is still MudGolems coming out ahead, keeping that lead, and with this Roach, they're only going to grow it even further.
What a huge start of a fight too for Navi, right? They insta-kill Fada, they insta-kill Borani hit, but then the double Grady's Fairy Fire actually saves Skitter. He used the first one, it puts him up at like 700, gets the second usage off, literally saves him, puts him back at 500 HP. He survives because of Greater Fairy Fire in that fight, and the buyback, of course, from Borani hit to blow up that PL. The one time it feels like Navi might have a hope in this game.
It's just such an uphill struggle for them.
Yeah. I can't believe the Fairy Fire actually saved him there. Such a good item, actually.
It's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of damage, you know. Plus 40 damage. It feels amazing.
Yep.
I don't care. I don't care about these boring items like Titan Sliver, status resistance, magic resistance. Shut up. I want damage. Base attack damage. Shut up. That's a percentage. I don't work in percentages. I work in flat values, my friend.
It was just not like he literally got 900 health for free during that fight because of it. So there's now a 14k gold lead, 25,000 experience lead, and now they're in an extremely comfortable position. Even Dota Plus is
What's the crazy?
98%. I thought it would go even a little more than not. 98%.
Tower is under attack.
It is the
loves the
Spectre.
Spectre.
It loves the Spectre, and you can't. I don't think Gaben's wrong on that either.
No.
I mean, this game, you do look at this Spectre, and you do kind of feel that it's over.
Tower has fallen.
But Navi definitely coming in with their punches, despite being in a difficult position here in this game.
Yeah, they're still like trying to fight back, and they're still making some of the right moves. It's just the MudGolems is just reading the plays. They're always one step ahead, it feels. They have this ward vision on top, just scout the PL around the Secret Crop shop, and look at this, they're all setting up immediately. They might actually find V-Tune.
He's trying to hide in his illusions. Oh, they've got him. V-Tune down, out for 80 seconds.
Tower is under attack. Stop tower is
That ward just up on that high ground. Saw him chilling around the area for too long. All of them set up. They have their lanes in a great position to do that at this point here. And using a hunt for PL, always worth it.
Dive's top tower is under attack.
Now, all of Navi.
He's the one with the money.
Yeah, Navi all has to kind of just be very careful now. Both supports cannot leave the base. General and Iceberg might get found here. They're stalking. Milan's on the hunt. Oh, he sees the firefly. He's gonna hunt the arrow. Will General blink into it?
That would have been amazing. But
That would have been pretty dope. But they push them all the way out, so now lanes are going to continue to being forced into the side of Navi, and now they have to just watch their outer towers get taken out, it feels. No PL 25.
Not really too fussed about the state of the bottom lane. MudGolems has already got the tier 2 there. Just this mid and top. They want to try and take these towers out with, and Skeeter's in the top lane. It's got the discarded complete now on Spectre.
Oh boy, they did have, like, that's the one thing Navi had some fortunate things for Leshrac, is he had BKB to be able to run away from targets. Now, Rupture, but Scotty, no way that Iceberg's gonna be getting out unless he can be TPs.
It's just so hard.
So hard.
Yeah, with the Scotties. Skeeter die is probably not gonna happen.
Nope. And he has a sliver too, so magic is just a plenty as well on top too.
Yep.
Yeah, he's...
Iceberg. Gotta put BKB. His TP's on cooldown
he's
though.
dead.
He hasn't got a TP available for 15 more seconds, and he's not going to get those 15 more seconds. 90 seconds, no iceberg. Getting closer and closer to probably the point where MudGolems are able to finish this one up.
And look at this, Milan already, they're swinging for the bounty runs. Catches Roger with the arrow immediately. Will there be follow-up from his team, though, as he's now arrowed.
Stolen arrow.
And Roger's, oh, look at him go.
Yeah, he gets it. Now Borneo able to jump into the pit. Now Fardo's in. The other side, Horn coming out. They're ready to fight. Their Skitter's able to find. Always want to fly here. Down moves over straight away. He's going to continue to jump straight back over to mid to join Borneo, killing off General. 4 on Navi, 41-17. 18k lead.
They're actually
gonna
looking
hold
to
on.
hit onto him. Okay, that was a little bit crazy. 33 really wanted to go for, but the way that the bounty run spawn and they swing across the map instantly, and that sets them up to get these 4 kills. Sure, it's like the game is pretty over anyway, but it's just the way that they're moving around the map throughout the entire game. That's what it feels like. They're always just one step ahead of Navi. Even if they lose a hero, they get the big favorable trades every time. Have to just watch. Level 25 Spectre.
My goodness. Definitely worked out very well for MudGolems. Just another showing of what this team's capable of so far. I've seen them come in this squad of big names that you will recognize. Coming together, you know, sort of some names have had a lot of success, some that have maybe not, you know, yet to sort of find a team to propel themselves to the very top of tiers. And what we're seeing, those opportunities been granted for them. Players like Borneo, you know, so far the way that he plays around with MudGolems, it just seems to fall into place really well. I mean, I think any sort of team where you can pick something like the Storm Spirit and have such a good performance, just shows how good the team is at playing together to make sure that there are these amount of opportunities for Borneo to pop off. I mean, 14, 4, and 18. He's having a great time this game.
They're Moonlight Shadowed right on top of the smoke, and the dust wasn't there. Roger wasn't there in time. Gonna reset. They have the vision on the high ground. Yeah, no, very impressed with MudGolems. I love the way that they opened with. I love the way they drafted in this game too. Like the way they opened the first 2
What
picks.
was the first 2 picks in this game?
It was Marana Spectre because they saw Clockwork, so the Marana never has to worry about clock, and then Spectre always good versus Rubik because that's the 2 supports, lacking damage. Yeah, it's really been like super good planning across the board here, from like in-game play just to like that draft. The way I feel like they just outsmarted Navi a bit during the drafting phase too. It's really good to see. As Navi just so far on the back foot. Now V-Tune, he's trying. Even going for, he's trying to go for the silver edge even, to try to be the break versus Skeeter, but
you need it.
Yeah.
You know, at this stage of the game as well against the Spectre, that item is, you know, with the break mechanic is effectively going to do way more damage than anything else you can buy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But still probably not enough damage, even with the Skeeter being broken.
Yep, 4,000 life, 3,700, sorry, on Edgy Treads. Yeah, he shouldn't die. And just so much backup as we see Borninge. He hits level 25 as well on top, and he has an Arcane Rune to boot on top of 23 Bloodstone charges.
Soon as I have the old Aghanim Scepter. Very nice with the Blood Right. Excellent setup, and seeing already that high burst and silence from 33 is quite the issue for these heroes to play against.
Looking forward to seeing all this burst come together. Milan has an Ethereal Blade 2 finished up with his Veil, so heroes are going to pop real quick on the side of Navi. And here goes the smoke, as well as Moonlight Shadow. They're hunting Milan. Trying to catch something here. Other important thing is too, I've been seeing almost everybody on the side of MudGolems carrying dust, by the way. So people in your pubs, even if you're a core, I saw Borning carrying dust still at this point of the game, by the way, over his magic ball. So you guys better watch this and learn. If you're playing versus Glimmers and stuff, buy dust on core. And sports.
You can just see it's just a whole lot of no's.
Lol.
No.
But look, it's like Milan has dust, Fada has dust, Borning has had dust. I saw Skeeter carrying one earlier. They're like even like every single person had a dust, it felt like at some point in this game, for them to make sure that they can focus fire this. Navi trying to get out outside here.
So they can catch. They're on the farm. They can manage to get the last as well. Onto the last. To win. Here's the counter. Dash and play onto on a fly. Swap of work. Baronier looks to bring him in. Fada holding his ground, but the ult does still die. Roger's still alive here. He's not quite fallen. With the bash onto Iceberg, holding him through the BKB as Iceberg is dead and gone for 70. Beachu's trying to hide, but the Vortex drags him in. And just keep able to clean up with no issue whatsoever. His health just does not get low at all in these fights.
This is just such fighting here from. I mean, at this point it's easy for them, but
yeah,
they're always getting the right. 33. I think I wish I could like go and see how many times he fractured last track this game, because I think every cooldown has been used on Iceberg. Iceberg pops BKB, gets ready to charge in to do some damage, and then he's fractured again. It's just been like perfect from them across the board.
Well, 33 is going to be able to hold Roger away from stepping anywhere near the pit. Ruptors out. Roger, he's dead for 90. And they're ready to push in with that Aegis on Baronier.
They'll call it.
They'll look towards the next game on this one, as this game one does go on for 41 minutes, but a lot of that 41 minutes very much feeling the game is already in the hands of MudGolems as they come in with the good old Spectre Storm lineup, and they're able to keep themselves ahead for most of the game. Navi just couldn't really catch up, and we did see them early on.
I mean, I still think the map area that you can be playing in on Radiant is better, right? Like, it's a bit safer to contest that top side. You can just give up that gigantic dead lane on the bottom side of the map.
Always a pros and cons with both Radiant and Dire, but I just feel like these top tier teams always prefer to play Dire. Like, they don't really care about first pick and second pick, but I think all this OG secret, they really prefer Dire.
Well, I want to see how they actually pick. I'm most keen to see what Milan's hero is, because one of the other advantages of the Radiant side is that you can just walk up from that off lane and get a much easier pull through of the creep wave to between the tier 1 and tier 2 towers. And you tend to do that with heroes that have high base movement speed, or ones that you build boots on at the very start of the game. So, you know, things like Mirana could potentially come out again. Tiny, although he's not.
We don't really see too many.
Earth Spirit can do it as well.
Yeah, but like I think we don't really see this like a pulling way, just because they don't want to give a free farm to carry. I feel like all these offlane plus plus 4 players, they really want to harass this like carry, and especially these MudGolems. I think 33 always gets this like a top priority, and whenever like when 33 gets his hero, and when he's versing against any melee core, for example, the Bloodseeker, I think the carry CS is like always like two-thirds of like his normal CS. Yeah.
And we were talking about before, you know, Roche is good, but if you can't do anything with it, it's not that great. This time around, MudGolems, they're going with a Lifestealer, a hero that comes online super early. So you're going to be able to pair that with another hero that Boromir likes to play that can get super active early into the, 15, 20 minute mark. And if you're able to secure a kill on Roche, you can suddenly take away the entire top side of the Dire jungle.
Yep. And really strong pickup for Lifestealer. Like, you just, even if you're versing Ranger, I don't think can really harass this Lifestealer because of the surprising amount of regen that he do every time he hits.
Is that also to kind of negate something like a Mars to be coming out here?
Mars is nothing if you're playing Lifestealer. So I just don't really see many offlane here that can actually be Lifestealer. Like, if it's an Enigma, it might be a bit different story, because you can just the lane without laning.
Getting rid of those creeps.
Yep. The Phoenix.
So Navi get their specialty.
Yeah.
We talked about this with Always Want to Fly last time we had the interview with him. He did say that they can pick Phoenix into any matchup they have, and they don't really care because they just love playing around this hero and playing with this hero.
I think that for them, it's like, he's like, even in a losing matchup, we can get something out of it. And I think that's just talking about the late game specifically. That's something where the Phoenix really shines. At the end of the day, Lifestealer can only be invulnerable for that 6 seconds until he gets the talents. And as a strength hero, you're going to take a ton of damage from this Sunray as it gets later on.
Yeah. And phase as well, it's not offensive, but it's not defensive in the same time. Like, those Fire Spirit actually, like the attack speed reduction is insane for level 1, so you can always get the better trait as long as Phoenix lands some Fire Spirit on the heroes. And the Snapfire, we talked about this Snapfire and Phoenix interaction. Like, whoever gets this like game phase like going, like if the map is on their favor, Snapfire gets like better. If Phoenix is like in leading, and Phoenix gets better off.
You would think that it's going to be Lifestealer and Snapfire laning together, but the way that Navi do it is it's their 5. Phoenix is their 5. It's not a 4. So I was thinking, if this was a traditional matchup with Phoenix being 4, if you get that early level 2, Phoenix is always going to go Fire Spirits level 1. Always. So you can suddenly get early level 2, get on top of him, and get that early first blood. Not going to be the case this time around. But for MudGolem's benefit, like we were saying before, Lifestealer doesn't care about Mars, so you're probably not going to get that great combination, and I want to see Navi ban it out themselves, because I think it'd be a really good hero for 33 to pick up.
Yeah. And this Draw Ranger pickup in second pick, I feel like MudGolem has so many cards for 33. And that's the reason why they can actually open with this Lifestealer, because 33's carry potential is just damn high compared to other offlaner. And he always pulls it off, and it's pretty risky if you run those sort of style. But I never see like 33, were ever behind in this tournament.
I believe his Visage game, the first game that he played, was one of those games where 33 just really didn't have the impact that we were expecting. And to me, it felt like they were kind of just putting the Visage out there, just like, oh, if this carries and owns, then teams are gonna have to think about it. But then he defaulted back to something like a Void Spirit, and that's when he truly carried from that offlane. And now you can just see Navi starting to respect it and get rid of all of 33's heroes.
Lots of offlane heroes being removed from the pool. Doom, Beastmaster, Slider, all gone. I don't know. I'm feeling the Mars for MudGolems. I think
Yeah.
it's a really good pick.
I really feel like they have to either ban it or Navi is considering this Drow Ranger offensive tri lane. I think that's more like higher priority. As soon as they see Mars, they probably just send General to 1v1 Mars and just go offensive tri lane.
Now, it's not that you want to pick it into a Drow Ranger.
Say it, Matt. Say it. Be
Not
wrong.
say it.
Well, 33 Max playing Darkseer, and that's a good way of getting in on top of a Drow as a lifestealer, right? You just zoom him in, he pops his rage, and what can you really do as a Drow Ranger? You're just going to be food.
Yeah. So whatever like offlane he picks, as long as if it's really bothering Drow Ranger, I really think Navi has to just swap the lane. Like Wild Secret and like Liquid, they all do this with the range cores, like just start offensive tri lane, try to make that wave stuck into their side and just continuously hold there, and meanwhile like other two supports just continuously like stop the Radiant to pull the creep. Yeah.
Still thinking about this next ban here is Navi. What are you thinking, Matt? Fingers are tapping, the cogs are turning. I see something going on in your head right now. I guess they're tossing up between the Mars and something like, I mean, do you really want to ban? Okay, they're going to get rid of the Bat Rider.
Yeah, I was nearly going to say Navi might pick up the Bat Rider for themselves. You know, yes, you can just rage off any sort of napalm that you get up, but it's a good way to lock down the Lifestealer. You're not going to have any sort of, like, the rage disable isn't going to stop you from being lassoed, which might have been nice. Tango?
5
Maybe
seconds remain.
for them, it provides a good amount of disruption. You can get it on the front lines, you know, disrupts enough to be able to get off a really nice egg. Disarm's good against the Lifestealer. It means that he has to be a bit more proactive with his rage before the disarm hits onto him. The minus armor is good with the Drow because, you know, not an insane amount of armor, at least until you get into that armlet and a few other of these bigger items on the negs.
Yeah. I think they have to pick position 5 if Navi always runs Phoenix as 4.
No, they always
No,
run it as
they always
five.
Already run it as 5. Yeah, so they have to pick up 4 here, I think.
It's the Roger here.
Oh, Mark.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They're just gonna do it. They're just gonna do it.
They're
Okay.
going for team fight, trusting in their ability to get a lot out of, you'd assume, General in this lane, unless I think they could be trying to change this up, right? Try and throw the Mars into like a mid lane matchup scenario.
I thought so. I think mid Mars can be really countered easily. Like,
If it was last pick, I would be like, okay, maybe.
yeah,
But
even if you get like or this like early level 6, if you just miss one spell, like you're just completely useless hero. Like, and it's very risky for Mars to just rely on that factor.
Ooh.
Tusker.
I really
I'm
like
liking
this coming in from Navi.
Mhm.
Got a lot of damage coming out as well. I mean, picking Mars here is kind of just harkening back to your boy Collapse there, QO, where he just says, I feel confident on this hero, give it to me.
Like, he's either gonna be versing against Lifestealer or Bloodseeker. Really have fun time.
5 seconds.
Even if they put this Drow Ranger, Tusker, and Phoenix bottom, which is really strong,
Yeah.
but if MudGolem picks Snapfire plus 1, like another strong, maybe like plus 5 heroes, got Crystal Maiden against this, maybe Crystal Maiden is too weak.
No, I think they always run the Snapfire as a 5, so I would think that it's going to be Milan's hero that's still yet to come. They don't have an insane amount of initiation, so you don't want to put everything onto Boromir. Of course, his Storm Spirit is amazing. It's still in the pool. You would think that Navi are going to try and get rid of it just so that's removed.
Lina?
And it's
Okay.
okay. I mean, it can be in both with that 4 and mid lane roles, so you're not giving away everything about your draft just yet. So Navi's not going to have those super easy bans. And I mean, it provides some decent setup for things like a Blood Ride as well if you're able to land the stun.
Yeah. Like, they don't have many ways to open the fights.
Yeah, on MudGolems.
MudGolem needs to either open it or Yule on Lina. I don't Cookie initiation is good
No,
at
no,
all.
no.
Yeah.
They need either like a super aggressive support like a Nurse Spirit like we were talking about and run Lina mid, or you need to run the Lina 4 and something like the Storm Spirit coming.
10 seconds remain.
Get rid of the Templar Assassin here, Mudgolems.
5
Leaning me more
seconds.
towards something like a Storm Spirit. Don't want to go for that for Boronihai. He has been playing insanely well across the Storm entirety of ESL 1 We'll see
But I
what
don't think
Navi
Storm's
get
a
rid
good
of.
pick for MudGolem here, so they'll probably ignore it.
Why don't you think it's a good pick?
I don't know. Like Drow Ranger, Mars, like there's so many annoying things, and Storm really don't want to buy BKB or Yule.
Yeah.
I know you can get it, but once you get it, it just feels really bad.
So do you think this Lena's mid lane, or do you think it's position 4?
Position 4.
Okay.
I think Bronya will pick his hero.
My thing is, I feel like the reasoning behind my mentality of the Storm is that it's not only good for you, it's also the vehicle for the lifesteal. You know, if you can just get onto that backline, deal with... Honestly, you don't even need to hit the Drought. You can kill the Phoenix, and you're going a huge way towards winning a lot of these teams.
Surprise thing is, like, we didn't see Puck, right? We didn't see many Pucks coming out.
Yeah, Liquid's probably been the team that's played it the most. I think they picked it twice.
Yeah, Boxy's played it as well as Tiger.
Or can it be Zeus? Nah, not against Tusk. But I think Navi can pick Zeus, actually.
Yeah, I think Navi can, but like, I would not want MudGolems to pick it. They need initiation.
They banned the Storm
They banned the
themselves.
Okay.
Okay. Some spicy here from the boys of MudGolem. You guys want Navi to pick up the Zeus. They do have the last pick over all of the draft, so they can wait and see what Bora Niha is going to pick up here. But what's the final ban going to be, lads? Something like Wop? Ember?
Or they can just ban Vicky and pick Evoker
Shadow Demon.
and
Okay.
Shadow Demon.
It's like kind of reducing the flexibility that MudGolems can have. If they wanted to go for like a Milan Shadow Demon. He has played extremely well in that Shadow Demon already. What's he need?
MudGolem has to show first. Like, is this Lina mid or off
10
lane?
seconds remain.
Oh, man, I don't know what else they're gonna go. Like, Doom's out of the pool, Tiny's still in the pool. It's a Wisp.
Okay.
All right.
So it's Lina mid.
Sure.
5.
Milan Io?
Mid snap.
Io
Maybe.
Bloodseeker would be okay.
I don't know. I'm confused. I'll be perfectly honest.
Yeah. I
Those words do
actually
not leave my lips very often, but
I can't guess it here.
how much reserve time do they have? They've only got 20 seconds all up left to make this final decision, and I'm sure that they were not expecting the Wisp coming out.
Well, what's the iceberg hero? We want to see him on something that can provide a little bit more in this game here. Had a fairly decent showing on the last track, but unfortunately just didn't get the victory. A couple of seconds left
Oh,
here.
let's see TA. You know?
TA's banned.
Oh, TA's banned.
Oh!
Got it.
High five.
Yeah!
All right, my panelists, boys. My panelists are finally starting to get back in the good graces here. So, looking at both these drafts, we're just going to sit here and wait a second. So, it will be a Milan Io, and they're going to go with a Bora Niha Lina. So, about these drafts, lads, we haven't really been on point the last couple of days when we've come to predicting. So, let's see if we can clean it up a little bit.
I feel like Navi's draft is better, but I think I have to stick with MudGolem. That's my inner feeling.
Your gut?
here.
Your gut feel?
Yeah.
Wait, does General have a new Mars?
I don't know. He
Did
looks
Mars
pretty
get a
fancy.
second set?
But if Navi actually go offensive trialing with the Draw Ranger, like that's a big factor here. I think they can just win this lifesteal lane.
So you think that they're just going to try and
Mars
go for a
top?
tri lane?
Yeah, I just want to see that. Like honestly, because Draw Ranger is not gonna.
I'm worried about them starting fights on MudGolems, so I'm going to go with Navi.
You're going to go with Navi. What about you, Kua?
I'll go with MudGolem.
Oh, you're going to go with MudGolems here. So looks like my panel split down the middle once again here. But we're going to head into game number 2. We're going to leave it with our casters once again. It's going to be Odie Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much. Yes, game 2, Fogged. And what do you reckon from what we've seen from these lineups?
Very strange. Did not expect the eye. I did not see that one coming at all. I thought they were going to do some type of flexible stuff, but not with this hero. This is... Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely out of the box, and it's usually a pretty tough hero to make more of a newer team, which MudGolems, they still have... You know, they're still getting their combos and everything all together. Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. They have some very limited team fight on their side, very limited ways to start fight. And I'm looking at Navi, and they've got their bread and butter. The combo that I saw them look super dominant with in the beginning of this tournament. Their Mars and their Phoenix.
That's very true. I mean, this game, they've definitely got some heroes that can play around it, right? They do have the Snapfire, the Lina. This is pretty fast, hard-hitting hero, and of course, their carry is the Lifestealer, a hero that doesn't care too much about the ultimates of these two heroes, but still definite potential early on in the lane. Now we'll sit there and play around the Rage, and as you say, it is something that we have seen Navi be very strong with. So we'll see how well they're able to play it. But at the same time, MudGolems seem to be pretty smart with what they're doing, and you've got to imagine that, you know, things like the Mars and Phoenix, this wouldn't have necessarily surprised MudGolems. They're going to have things in mind, and they're going to know how Navi likes to play with these heroes.
Yeah, and I think that there's a reason that they did all this. I think they like triple down or quadruple down even to ensure that this egg will never go off. They have the tether with the overcharge, so that's double the attack speed. Lina with Fiery Soul, Snapfire with that thing, and then Lifestealer with his Rage. So every single one of their heroes should be able to hit egg in a lot of situations. That's at least what I thought of when they picked the IO. You know, dodge fights a lot. If you see a Mars and a Phoenix drop their ult, you maybe can relocate save, and then you look for fights yourself and try to play around those cooldowns, because they're not very cooldown reliant on the side of MudGolems. And I'm looking at this, this is actually an old dual lane. If people remember, I'm sure people do, from the horrifying times during their pubs, during the IO Bloodseeker era, when it was the 700 movement speed Bloodseeker and 700 movement speed IO, and you couldn't slow either of them. There was a time when this ran offlane almost every single game in high-level pubs when it first got added. So I think this is another thing that they're looking to do, because the mobility, especially for heroes like Drow, Bloodseeker in the mid-game, is going to be moving at an insane pace to get on top of her.
Now we'll see how well V-Tune and Roger are able to deal with this lane early on. I still know Drow, pretty decent laner, right? You are going to have those Frost Arrows to punch in, and with the tag team set, so it's going to be some good damage, but of course, just that constant sustain and the fact that 33, he's always going to be ready to turn with a blood right if Roger does overcommit.
So much sustain, like you're mentioning. Between the two of them there, there's the thirst, and then also just the tether heals. They might be able to just counteract the tag team every single time just because of those heals. But like you said, yeah, strong lane from the Drow. It's just, I think they can play around it pretty nicely. High armor on Bloodseeker, and then IO can always tether away.
And then in the mid lane, Boronia's Luna against Iceberg's Pugna. This sort of matchup, I mean, what you sort of expect from this? Just pretty even? I mean, is there any kill potential from either of these heroes early on?
I prefer the Lina in the matchup. I most of the time prefer Pugna, but this is one of those where it's Lina just always, you have two different forms of magical nukes. You have a sun as well, and you have high physical. You just have everything to deal with the Pugna. So I like the Lina just slightly, maybe like 55-40.
What a lane. Skeeter. Oh, he was low, but he actually gets away with staying alive, gets the first blood. He should fall. Yeah, General will actually find him at the end of it all. But not before he got the first blood.
Brings honor to one I suspect as
Very nice.
So we're able to get him pretty close to the tower and underneath of it. And for that initial onset of damage.
Look at the way that the safe lanes are. Speaking of safe lane, top Roger and V-Tune starting to get pushed away. This lane getting too strong.
You're seeing the potential very early on for the Bloodseeker Aya. The fact that they're able to just run at them like that, and what sort of changes that from happening? I mean, it doesn't seem like a whole lot. Roger's 2 spells are not the greatest at holding them away, and the snowball, the save that he does have, is going to be able to dodge him from the blood right, but still just the chase after it. Just so much damage. It just seems so much harder for Navi to trade back with this.
Absolutely, and 33, like we mentioned, he always has full sustain. This looks like an impossible lane for Navi to win, actually, with these two. I think V-Tune's gonna actually get pushed out of the wave soon. Right now, at least has double range group pushing into him, so he'll get some XP. But yeah, he needs to be careful, just not die at all times. And they're gonna go on him again up top. The blood rate connects. They may just dive this.
I mean, they're getting away with it. They're just going under the tower and killing him off. He doesn't even multi-shot in the right direction. He was. You only multi-shot in the wrong direction when you're tilted, and I wouldn't blame him. Against these two in this lane, this is not a happy lane for the Drow. You're gonna feel pretty annoyed with this.
She's always going to get ran down. I'm looking very concerned for the top one, because they're going to constantly harass the other lanes in so that the thirst is kicked in, and then tether, increased movement speed. They're both moving 400 move speed. They're going to get on top of her every time. Yeah, this is definitely concerning right now for this top lane for Navi. As Lifestealer bottom Skeeter, he's still getting away with farm versus the Mars and the Phoenix. V-Tune. They're going to just try to reset the lane positioning, but we didn't point this out either. Both teams heavily warding those safe lanes to make sure that there's no pullbacks, no side pulls, nothing cheeky.
Yeah, everything being blocked.
Yeah. Milan just makes a move away from top. That's when 33 starts to get zoned. But he's looking to set up on mid. Iceberg.
Comes in with the tether. Bit of punch on the Iceberg. Iceberg's got us south though, so he's good. Coming up to those 5-minute bounty runes. Make sure that he's Refueling himself down there.
Radiant structures
And
are
Milan
fortified.
refill himself, and now he's going back toward top so they can
To their middle
continue this pressure into V2. And V2 got a little bit of space there to get some last hits. He's up to 12 now because of the move from Milan. Still a very tough lane for him though. Whenever they do get aggro, he has to just be very careful. 290 move speed, just can't get away. And look at Bornini's positioning. You were talking about those 5-minute bounty runes. He actually pushes the wave in, and he's taking it aggressively. Love it.
Very smart.
Money to burn.
They actually might get all 4 bounty runes
I mean,
because
well-
yeah, they're getting it all 4. That's huge.
There's some early gold lead coming out from MudGolems this game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Grab
Phase
all of
boots.
those and
Phase boots on Skeeter, so now that bottom lane, the times when General and Always Want to Fly could have looked to get aggressive on Lifestealer, that, it's starting to go away already. He's got this increased armor, increased movement speed. Gonna be much harder for General to take advantage of this hero now.
top. Not
Yeah,
getting
it
any
just
easier for
continues.
Navi. I mean, being able to find a little, a bit of farm. He's at the bottom. He's got something.
He's got his boots now at least, so he can actually avoid the blood, right? Still only 335 move speed. Like, still very
this
difficult
time.
for him to actually get away from them. As they're looking to turn. But this is not an easy, is not easy to turn on. There's too many
you
heals.
can't turn on this. You got to start running. As soon as he's in with the snowball and just 33 P after that. These sort of moves just don't do anything to the Bloodseeker.
And look at
Row.
And look at V2. He tanks one spell down to half health, gets salved up 33. Like you said, he's always just chilling. Always more than enough sustain. And he's pushing the lane in pretty hard here. The catapult is going to be going down here, so they're going to have a catapult pushing in up here top.
Mid lane, very good. Pretty much exactly even actually with this wave coming in.
Yep.
Continue to be free farm for both of the mids. They push it back and forth. Bottom lane, Skeeter. Cookie setup. He's in onto Always Want to Fly. Straight away with the TP out. Ooh, he'll only just make it, but he does.
I love that Fada went for early Shredder. Just going to point out, I think I see that every game versus when I see Snapfires. Whenever I see the 2-point cookie, sure, it's great in the lane, but Little Shredder is insane. It's -6 armor. Put in a Blightstone, it's -8 armor on the target you're hitting. And mid-game, as soon as you hit 6, you will be able to kill that egg. You don't have to wait for your level 7, level 8.
We're seeing this now on the top lane as well. Is it getting to the point where you just can't really go to lane? Yeah, V2 we saw there just having to TP out as they moved in on him, and still at a stage where 33 hasn't even got the level 6 of the rupture. They are going to have Iceberg head over here.
Yeah, I like this. 33 checks the side camp. It's still blocked by the sentry. Theirs wasn't able to counter it. Milan looks like he might go down here. The raindrop actually saves him.
Illusion.
Oh, he's away. He's away. He's going to be fine.
Iceberg trying to
Still
push it forward.
chasing,
Ninja's over here, though.
I was going to say Iceberg. There's no way he can move any further in on this one. Iceberg's got to let this one go.
Are scanning for enemies.
And up into this spot, part of the map.
Similar to last game, though, they push V2 out of his safe lane. And now he has to go farm the mid, just like the last time. He's not a level 4 PL this time around, but still definitely getting slowed down. Definitely.
Around the runes, Fada is able to grab the bottom one. Regen. See if they can get some sort of catch on mid, but Scatterblast not able to reach Iceberg. He's going to step back. He says back in range of the Light Strike Array. They've got the stun. Have they got the damage with the Laguna? They certainly do. Just getting in a little too close, and Borony very quick with that opportunity. As soon as he sees him step forward, catching him just on the edge of that Light Strike Array. Very nice turn from the leader.
Instant turn.
Yeah.
There
That's
is little
perfectly
hope
done.
for
And up to
Dire
2k gold lead. Back up to top. They see Roger trying to farm. They're going to try to pressure him a bit there. Maybe even like going under the tower a little bit here too. 33 looks like he wanted to chase. Milan looks like he didn't. And V2, he's going to just have to jungle.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that mid lane proving to not be a safe place either. As top 33's got the rupture, drops it down on a Roger. Roger will manage to save himself with the snowball off the side of the
already.
This is going to do the damage.
Too late for you.
Oh my god, fought at 6 before 9 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Getting the
I think
D-Ward too.
Iceberg is fortunate to get away with his life there too. Like that's Pugna this early on into there is also a very free kill with any type of disable.
Yeah, I mean, he's the same level as V2.
Yeah, I can't believe how fast he's 6. That's insane. I guess because of how bottom happened, I don't know. And there's the rotation mid, Fada.
Yeah, that kill mid must have really done it, because you're right. This is an insane amount of XP for him to have. Roger's going to TP into this top lane.
Roger might just die.
He's going to need some backup, and backup is on the way.
Bring the line.
See if they can get some kills in Navi as they look towards Milan. Could be able to find this. Actually out to the side with a big tether. He's away. Fada will get left behind, but Fada tries to turn with the Scallon Blast. Easy to be able to bring down Roger with him. He'll take that. You know, pretty much what 4 members of Navi turn up to push them back. Well, they kill Fada, but not without Fada taking down one of their own.
Experience for the kill too there. Them taking so long to kill him. But yeah, having to bring 4 heroes to punish a Snapfire, the 5 position who's pressuring your safe lane so hard. V-Tune, Skeeter's actually setting up with a very clever position here.
They got the stun. Oh, not quite able to get there in time.
That was heads up. I like that from Skeeter. Wow. He actually went in, checked the ancients. He saw that they're stacked, and then he hides himself behind a tree, baiting V2 for the DD. Smart plays coming out from MudGolems, and again, just like last game, they're up to almost a 4K gold lead after this laning start.
This team, definitely a team to watch. I think, I mean, it should come to a surprise to some people because of the caliber of players we do have on the squad, but already showing just in the series we've had so far in this early stage of the tournament, some very impressive showings. So top lane, 33 is able to get the blood right off in time. Iceberg's moving over Milan, but the relocate's there. Milan probably going to be in a bit of problems himself as
they don't have a stun. He can just tether away.
Tether again?
I think so. Spear's on cooldown for 2 seconds. Will he be able to get the timing?
He is. He's able to get. Does still get trapped by the arena. The spear's off the mark, but they should have the burst. And they slowly but surely will. Again, it's 4 heroes of Navi you're seeing come in, and it is just a support dying. So another instance where it just feels like Navi, they're having to use so much to achieve so little, really, as they just continue to fall further behind in gold.
Yeah, and it's you know, but it's on. Skeeter takes bottom tower, Morning does majority of damage to mid tower, and they get into the ancient side of the drow, put a sentry to block, and a very clever ward that that's not going to get dewarded. That ward's going to stay there, and it's going to be able to give vision of this entire triangle. I've never seen that one. That's a nice one. That one avoids most of the regular sentry spots by a good margin.
You're not going to check so that far north, and if you do, you're checking over to the cliff on the east.
Yeah.
Over in the river.
Always want to
fly. He's going to pop the... Oh, they've got the damage. Oh, not the damage. The attack speed to take it out in time. Iceberg tries to turn the life train onto Baronia. They're rolling onto Fada. Fada still alive here. Finally, wonderful as he gets first step alone, but he's able to come the way towards Roger. Roger keeps himself safe with the shards. He's still trying to chase in. Quite close together. Maybe third recap. Speed it in. And down. Rupture as well. Roger. Dead here. Gonna buy a bit of time with the snowball. No. And if anything, just rolls himself over to allow Skeeter to be the one to claim the kill. And Skeeter will be very happy with that.
Again, they're always setting themselves up for so much. Look, like they're always, I think they're getting so much on the map. Warning is coming. Milan, the IO, is hitting the top tower, getting it down pretty low. All 3 tier 1s are about to go down. That top are going to go down really soon here for the side of Navi.
They have to. 3 of Navi's cores are falling behind. Baronia, he's so close to having Yules and bots at this point, and 2k ahead. Any core on Navi's team.
He's level 12. Like, almost level 13 even. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's gonna be some pretty insane one-shots. You know, Drow Ranger, not the tankiest hero.
Milan get the last on the tower. Oh, he can't. Always want to fly able to find it with the deny. Try for some setup here. Fada's trying to do something. A little tricky to close in onto the Phoenix with the dive.
Oh. They were able to get the D-wards here. Roger did actually end up finding that northern observer ward around the triangle, and they secure it for V-Tune to try to farm. But yeah, like we said, V-Tune only level 9, Borningen now 13. So this Laguna Blade is also going to shred it through this low-level Pugnant, low-level Drow quite easily. It's so damn farmed, and they're continuing to grow that lead, almost up to 6k. Now, starting to do something here with their Mars and Phoenix.
General is going to drop the arena, but the spear misses, and Fox just able to jump out of it.
And now General,
no,
he'll be okay, but I feel like now MudGolems, they're going to look to push this mid tower pretty hard here. No Mars ult. Can probably look to commit into it here and look for some dive plays. Navi's got to bring everybody. Skeeter is connecting.
Yeah, he's coming in with his wraparound straight away, but he has been caught by the size of the stun. He's in trouble. He's getting locked. They're able to take him out. A little bit too much of an over-aggressive gank there from Skeeter as he tries to swing him from the back. Navi's prepared. Kisses are going to come into play. Still trying to fight on forward. Snowball almost certainly put him in a dangerous place here, Roger, as he rolls straight into the midst of the four of them.
Held your feet to the fire.
They get themselves something at least, though. Skeeter playing over aggressive. Oh, no. Uh-oh.
First with Laguna up, he certainly does.
So much.
Dead Phoenix.
And now they can go right back and take the mid tower. Navi, they did a good job holding, but it will inevitably go down. At least they get the big kill on Skeeter, who we see the itemization. He's playing versus Drow Ranger. Full plus armor. His armlet already giving you plus armor, now a plate mail. He'll be strong versus that Drow on all stages because of this.
Very nice to see. I mean, even against the extra little bits of physical burst from the Tusk with his punch, or the Mars with his rebuke. That armor to it's very hard really for Navi to kill him. Even though we obviously did see them be able to do so just then, but I'm sure we won't see Skeeter try for that much of an ambitious move again.
He's at 33 armor when he has his armlet active.
Yes. That's, I mean, it's 16 minutes in. That's some of the higher armor you're going to be seeing it hit on a hero.
Yeah, this is one of the better heroes versus Drow Ranger because of that. It's a weird, Drow is good versus Lifestealer for the most part because of just the nature of the matchup, but the itemization you go on Lifestealer is just good versus Drow like this. See Navi all together. I like they're playing together here. They have Blink on General, so they're very strong right now.
You can get the catch on Fada. Here we go. He's looking for it. Not Fada. With the snowball. Now, they land with the save. Now, there's the rest of MudGolems turning up. Can Navi still take this? They're trying to set up for the fight.
They got the ward down.
Let's see what they can do to kill off. Try and get on top of Milan. Supernova down to the side. Skeeter's going to go straight towards for the edge. He pops the range, takes down the edge. The arena does track 33. 33 still alive though. Jump forward with the cookie. Fada stuns up Roger. Skeeter moves over towards the Tusk. It's 3 dead, maybe even 4. The Yule's combo lands down onto General. They killed Milan, but it cost them so much. 4 dead on Navi. As it's just sort of a similar story to the fights that we saw in game 1, where Navi they begin to fall behind, and then it cost them so much to get the smallest of kills. It's just the IO going down, and 4 heroes losing their lives in the process of it.
As soon as they don't get Fada to start it off and he's able to disengage, it looks rough. And the things that we talked about early on, how MudGolems, they drafted themselves in this way that Ag is always going to die, it's working. Like Fada there, he pops his Little Shredder, kills the Nether Ward before the fight starts, so they take no damage from that. And then they have, the Lifestealer and the Lina easily able to focus that one down with the rest of them just sitting inside the Mars ult. Again, MudGolems continuing to impress and not slowing down, looking for another fight.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Navi, it feels like they don't think them here, as MudGolems just seem to be too prepared.
He's got the blink, so he's got a one hit. Poking around on the side of them. I mean, arena's up in a few seconds. Let's see if Navi do want to try another shot at having a team fight.
Nice, he stole the big dragon there, General. Nicely done. You see the way MudGolem is playing, though. Immediately just charging toward that triangle area. When there's no Mars ult, there's no Phoenix ult, they know how much stronger they are, even walking into those riskier positions.
They set up for a smoke. They've got one on Roger. So they're going to give it another shot. Look for the team fight that they've just not been able to come out with successfully. Maybe they can find the Lina. Warren here would be a perfect grab. They're going to go for the Roche attempt. Now, if it's going to get scouted out at all, it's pretty quickly done here by Navi.
Fada, is he gonna?
He's heading over. Is he able to get there soon enough? It's going low. He's going to have to jump in if he wants to, but it's already down. get themselves. Oh, Beachun, he stuck around. He tried to TP out in the midst. If it fire goes in with a cookie, they will be able to save him though. It did get them up to the high ground. Beachun, he will live still. Roger's going to be left behind. They chase for more here. The relocate coming in from Milan, bringing in Skeeter from the side. He's over onto the drought. Beachun's down. Iceberg trying to stand his ground and take down Milan with the life drain, but he hasn't got the damage. The Laguna's there, and it couldn't have gone any worse for Navi. They get Roche, they get the Aegis, but Vichu's decision to sort of instantly TP out of the Roshan pit and try and get himself somewhere quickly on the map had just cost them. Sparta, he's in, he puts it to a stop, and then just as soon as they get the Aegis, they have it taken away from them.
And now they lose all 4 bounty runes too off of all of it, and this game feels rough, very impossible. And with their Mars and their Phoenix, they're not able to get the setup for the team fights.
The setup from maybe they have got him in the arena.
He's got
Supernova's out, and he's able to move to the side. Supernova's done with a clip, and now he's out of range of it.
It just
Navi
delivered.
don't lose anyone.
It just gave him the courier. That would have been such a big kill for them. Oh, he gets it delivered, as well as the Lotus Orb bailout to 33. Warning here. Can't even get punished for his over-aggressiveness there. He's a level 18 almost on lead at 12k net worth. That would, that would have been a real nice comeback for them there.
I mean, it would have been a bit of a comeback.
A bit of a comeback, yeah, fair enough.
Just a little bit of a comeback. They need a few more of those to make a complete comeback.
It could have snowballed though, you know, some chain kills. It's always a possibility, but Navi all kind of running together here, hands held. And it feels like MudGolems, they know exactly where they're standing right now. Skeeter, he's just hitting on the tower with his team all at the ready around him.
Glyph is now active.
How's it AC looking? He's got it done, right?
He's got it done.
It's on the cards. 21 minutes in, AC complete. The squad. Navi. We get a jump here, General. Looking, but it's just so hard to commit. He knows that each time Milan is going to be waiting in the shadows, quite literally. He's got that amulet. Stay hidden and ready to jump in with tethers and saves when needed. Well, we'll turn to the side. Barnier's going to commit. Combox always want to fly past the BKB so he can with the Laguna, but it's not enough damage. Always want to fly, is he able to get away? Barnier taking a bit of a micro feature. Barnier goes in so he can land the stun on control. There's a snowball coming in onto Barnier, but this Lena's not dying. He's still alive. Barnier's able to live. The burst steals there for the infest. He's not going to go down. Navi's going to lose 3. I mean, Barnier just playing it so smooth there, closing the gap on the Drow whilst at such low HP, knowing that he has to take off that passive, land the stun, and with those sort of maneuvers, he keeps himself alive, he keeps his cool, and Navi can't even kill him.
Unbelievable. Actually unbelievable. Everything just to bail him out and save him too. The little things, the max, the sticks. Just all this plus armor too, like we said, like the AC, all these things that kick in. The medallion thrown on him too, any of these plus armors. Yeah, MudGolems, they came with such a good plan. Itemization on point. 20-6. Feels like Navi just stands no chance.
Yeah, I mean, the game one did go out at the sort of 41 minutes. You know, they're able to draw it out a bit against the Spectre, but this time round, MudGolems, they're just taking quite a lead at a much faster pace. And with heroes that are going to be much more geared up to closing it up soon if Navi's not able to pull out some sort of magic to turn this.
And this time they don't even have V2 and, you know, this PL at the top of the charts or anything. It's a Drow Ranger, 0, 3, and 1.
And he's sitting in the trees.
Net worth. And he's sitting in the trees, he can't even play.
He's got to. It's so scary, the map right now.
Immediately they run up aggressive, still no Mars ult. It comes back up right now, but that's the target they find as well.
Oh, he's got the York to dodge the combo. So he'll live. Skinner was thinking about diving past the tier 2 tower, but he'll roll back on that now. The jump forward, General. Okay. Able to get the spear down onto Skeeter. Skeeter's getting one. Can they finish him off? They've got the silence. Skeeter's being focused, but the same Milan comes over with the heal. Skeeter's not going to go down. Turns everyone's iceberg with the open wounds. Now a look towards General. Laguna in to play. General cannot blink out. As Skeeter lives, they just can't kill him, even when it looks like he will be dead for sure. Nice shards play from Roger, pushing him down to the low ground, but the balls, ooh, Ooh, not enough to kill him. He's going to make it out. Nice. Very, very nice little shard dodge there, pushing him down and out to safety. But still, the lead grows for MudGolems, 14k advantage. And we're seeing back-to-back now, both cores in positions where they get so low, but Navi can't quite finish the kills.
And we're definitely seeing the reasons to the IO. These saves from Milan have been absolutely ridiculous all game, and it's always versus that combo, so they are trying to play around those ultis. That Mars plus that Phoenix with the relocates, and also just his positioning. These mech heals as well, just time and time again. Yeah, it makes sense why they would last pick an IO for this guy. Milan pretty good at it, pretty good at his specialist of the heroes.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, yeah, he always has been. I mean, anytime you sort of see a team that's got the old IO player getting in as 5th pick, you know that there's going to be some struggles down the line for the enemy. That we're seeing it here, and this game will be a bit of a reminder to the other teams that will go ahead to face MudGolems that IO, you can't forget about it when you're playing against Milan.
No, definitely not.
I'll take that.
They're looking so hot. They're playing super well together. Navi, they're smoked up, trying to set up something around the bounty runes, but it's just going to be time wasted for them. I feel like that line drawn by 33 is like that's the only place that they should be able to play in the game as Navi. As MudGolems looking to keep constricting them inside the base. 33 pushing them away. Iceberg's trying to pressure down bottom, but not going to be able to do much of anything. And it's very rare you see a team with Pugna have almost no building damage in a game. That's how well MudGolems is playing. They're not even letting them hit the buildings.
Here we go, General. Managed to get the spear in play. Running off that BKB for now, Boromir, but now he's able to self-kill. Roger stepping forward, but the BKB's out, and Boromir, they turn, they take down the tusk, the rest of Navi have to run. Chases on here from MudGolems, it's 33 and Boromir. But he's got the urn down, Bloodbright as well, as Navi continue to get forced back. Skeeter, he's closing in on V-Tune. V-Tune's outside of the base. Hurricane Pike on cooldown for 10 seconds. Will actually relocate back out of there, not wanting to commit any further with buyback from Roger. They'll respect it and give the space to Navi. Again, just Navi, they find it. They do manage to kill the IO. The IO is down. Now, what more can they get? Navi need much more than the IO kill right now.
That was a huge cookie by Fada. Morning, I think he was going to get speared actually to the wall, but the cookie bounces him over and Milan ends up actually in front of it and he catches the spear. That was very quick save from Fada. They may have lost, I'm pretty sure they would have lost Alina there. Super quick play as Navi. They're trying to fight back, trying to secure this triangle so V2 has a home. They need it to happen quite a lot more. They need to get the bigger targets. They just keep killing the supports. They can't kill these cores.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
8-0 on Boraning here. I think 4-0 on 33. They're just unable to really find these cores too often.
The dire scan.
And it's not a game where it's going to get any easier for Navi's heroes. They're all about these sort of mid-game fights, the jumps, the bursts, and they've just not managed to make it happen with the lead that MudGolems have managed to build up very early on in this game. You know, straight away from the lanes, MudGolems had an edge, and now getting bigger, 13k up. KBAC done on Skeeter. The nullifier next.
Oh, he's actually unkillable. He had a BKB finish. Yeah, the only thing that can kill him, the only thing that could kill him before was if the silence and he can't actually get the rage up. Now he'll always have either BKB or rage at the fights. So it's an egg. Never gonna get off, always want to fly. They're always gonna be able to hit that one freely. He's the only core with any deaths. We should not be afraid at all anymore.
Roger. Not a lot he can do it. Into the snowball he goes, rolling over. 33's Bloodbright clips him on the way out.
Oh, nice neutrals. There's neutral items that they got on the side of MudGolems. Telescope on 33, and then the repair kit on Milan. That HP regen on IO is pretty nuts. Yeah.
Don't have anything to stop it here this game. Navi didn't go for any sort of vessel. I mean, does that sort of surprise you, or is it just the nature of the fact that they're just not really getting gold for that sort of stuff, that they have to prioritize other items against the Aya.
Yeah, I think they've been too far on the back foot the entirety of the game. It's such an expensive item, and they wouldn't even have charges for it most of the time. They're not getting killed.
That's true. That is true.
Radiant structures are fortified.
That may be the logic there.
Ooh, they might get their first tower here, Navi. They're trying to set up for it. It might get denied by 33. And Iceberg, he has to be very careful of his positioning.
Oh, he's got to hide. He's out with the TP. Is Brony able to find him? No, not quite in time. Iceberg makes it away.
Almost get the tower at least, though. So a little bit of injection of cash. If it does go down, it's down to 50 HP. Always want to fly. So you're going to sneak. Always want to fly sneaking the tower bottom.
Yeah,
Look at him go.
Get that money. Oh, they're coming in with a relocate, but he is well and truly away. Nothing Milan can do to stop that.
Nicely done.
And then they'll take every little bit of gold they can get right now, Navi.
Yep.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
They just have to hope for some type of incredible high ground defenses, really. If Navi wants to play in the base, look at the way Borneo has itemized this game. BKB, MKB, and he's in a Satanic Suit.
Mosquito is... he's going to hold back on that one. A little too far even for him, even with the Aegis. No, much high ground as such.
No, they've got the lanes pushing in, Fodder's forcing in bottom as well. They've got mid pushed in with the catapult. They can look to siege. Can Navi hold? Trying to creep way.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Even if he's all buffed up, he still has to give respect to the Drow. I think he's sitting at like 50-something armor when he's gets the solar crest and everything thrown onto him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, you say that, but I was seeing, you know, those procs come in and they don't do a lot.
Nah.
Are heavily mitigated by this values that you see still up now. But yeah, MudGolems, they've got many routes out of this game. Chill, wait for Skidder to get this big item on. And here, just continuing to stay far ahead of the whole game.
Look how they do this too. They don't teleport a hero back. They run a hero back with Milan in case a fight kicks off. They can just reload him in. So even then, they're, you know, even though they're so far ahead, they're doing the little moves that are so important in these type of games.
Navi, they're on another hunt. They're out with the smoke.
Can they catch
Now
these
making
two?
the things up to top. Can they burst these here? I mean, it's all down to General jumping in and getting a spear, really. Instantly start things off, but even then, saves are available. Maybe they can burst Milan. They're going to focus towards him. See what they can get done here. Milan buying time for himself with the Ghost Scepter and the Glimmer. Still surround him, drop in the arena. They want that IO dead. They'll get it.
Can they get away without losing anyone, though?
Trying to get out more. What's he able to find with the stun? He's able to cancel the TP. Always want to fly. Roger out to the side with the snowball. He'll also fall there. As always want to fly and Roger go down. The rest of Navi do get out. But again, it's just one of those moves that they've had so many times, Navi. They're killing the supports, but they cannot do anything else whilst they're this far behind.
They can't take out these cores, and it's always MudGolems. Like, they read the play. They know that that's the best move that Navi can make. Already setting themselves up and sending their heroes top to beat.
General.
Up top, General.
He's coming for this one. The egg's going to be popped down deep. Step aside, wait it out.
MudGolems is happy seeing that. Egg on cooldown now. World is there always back up and reset. I always respawn too, and yeah, he's just gonna TP in. He's also gonna fill Borneo his bottle as well, just to give him a little bit more mana. And Roger leaves.
Wars, I'm sure he'll be back for the final hold. They have just spent some big money, Navi. Well, we do have Iceberg. He just bought a complete Hex.
Okay, wow. He was saving gold for a long time. I see Drow also, I believe, finished up the Daedalus. So
okay, so we've got some items that weren't there before.
Not the Daedalus, sorry. He actually bought an Eagle Song instead of finishing the Daedalus.
All right, I mean, there's no true strike on these carries. Well, no, sorry, there is on Borneo, but there isn't on the Lifestealer and Bloodseeker. But, you're probably, yeah. The Lena's going to kill you on her own. It doesn't matter that the rest don't have the true strike. If Boromir gets in range, he's easily got the damage to take the Drow down on his.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see. I guess he's like Luke, as the Lifestealer doesn't have it. He wanted to go for this type of item and all that. But
I mean, honestly, Eagle wouldn't E-Blade be better? Well, I guess it's some. I mean, yeah, the butterfly feels kind of meh.
It feels meh. It feels like honestly, it feels like he needs Rapier or Daedalus, or just like it actually just feels like he needs Rapier this game because they need straight damage.
Dude, he's just got Rapier and just sit back and fire out the multi shots. That would have been a way to do it. Yeah, just about to hit 20 to the multi shot damage.
It's just a hard game for him. I'm sure he doesn't know what to get at this point. The rest of his team, it's not like he can do it by himself, right? Like the Pug and the Mara is just too far out of it. Their supports are so underfarmed as well in comparison. There's no one item that will really do it for him. That's like even if like he's so squishy too, like a Blood Rage and a Laguna, like and he's almost dead too. So many different things that MudGolem have going for them, and they're gonna just continue this pressure. There's no egg, so 80 seconds where Navi's gonna have a very hard time holding if MudGolems just commits. Milan needs a moment, I think, too.
Second, what's going on here?
He's got to stretch, you know, crack his back a little bit from carrying his team with all these relocates.
Well, I tell you what, what's the win percent at this game? It's 98.
Yeah, it's
when we saw that last time round, it was pretty bang on. The game closed up moments after. Let's see. See what Navi, if they can somehow swing this one around. Looking really tough. 25 to 9, 20,000 lead here for.
And let's see. No egg. Stalling. Beating Skeeter up. Gets his infest off on the creep though. Keeps the Aegis healthy, and Tower will be finished off for Fada. That also is Fada's Aghanims coming out on the courier, so they will have the beautiful gobble up as well inside these team fights. And Aegis. MudGolems looks like they're going to give respect to Navi. That high ground defense is still very strong. Oh, there it is. Gobble up ready.
All right, just fire him in.
Fire Skeeter.
Fire him in. Here we go.
At the drop.
Hey. Oh, he got him. He got him with the stun. He's in on him. I mean, I don't know. Well, with the kisses, yeah. Feature's got to get back to the base. Roger's going to get caught by the blood ride. Feature, he's actually going to go down. Nobody's just able to walk in and drop the Laguna on him. Oh, and that might be that. Dead Drow for a minute. Top rack's taken out, and yeah, as soon as the axe is up, he sends them in, and it may have just closed it up.
I had hoped for the infest in the top, 2 heroes in, but
oh yeah, the double.
If he gets agged, they can do the triple as well, by the way. He can eat one, and then he can also jump inside of something, then they can shoot them in.
Oh, General Manarita. Here we go. Supernova up to the side. Snowball across as well. This is an amazing start from Navi. Have they got the damage though? Nobody is dying apart from one. Okay, that's a lie. 33 does fall. But it takes everything. And as we can see, MudGolems are still more than happy to turn and fight. Skidder's running in, does get Hex. Won't quite die, or really. Hogo lands in with the tether. The land keeping him alive. Actually does fall to the towers. But Boromir sweeps him, picks up the triple. If they could kill Boromir though, this actually could be a bit of a comeback.
The reload.
The spear. Ooh, as you say, he's immediately out. Immediately out. But Milan probably gonna die here.
Look at Boromir here though. They the cheese, they give Milan the cheese. Boromir gets TPs to mid to give him a tether target. And he actually gets gobbled up. That actually works. He gobbled him up on the relocate, and it doesn't.
That doesn't work.
It worked. No. I just saw it.
Wait, what?
He gobbled him up, and he doesn't get relocated.
Wait, what? Excuse me.
Mechanics, ladies and gentlemen.
Does anything else in the game stop that? No. Does anything else stop a relocate?
Maybe if a Lifestealer eats him too as the Infest, or a Pudge with Aghanims if he eats them with Dismember. I think maybe those all would work if that's the case, right? Because they're all the same mechanic.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because you'd imagine what that would sort of count for the sense that they're out of the game. But things like, obviously, OD's Astral, that doesn't stop it. But
Well, because they're in the
Interesting.
nether. This technically literally removes, I guess, literally removes them from the game.
Interesting.
Learned something new here. I also saw him use the gobble up to dodge the egg stun on the IO too, by the way. He ate them. He ate him, egg popped, and then he tossed them out as well too. So some good stuff from Pada here. And teaching us.
Very nice.
I wonder if they knew that mechanic too, because they all started chat wheeling immediately afterwards too. So it looks like it was like, hey, let's try this, and then it worked. You're like, oh,
Oh,
noted too.
General. Ooh, that bring that. Goes away.
Gobbles up, tossed in. Can't quite find them, but the MudGolems continue pressure. B-Toon's trying so hard to finish up his butterfly. He's very close. But will that actually help?
More fuel for my
Yeah.
fire.
I'm also on top of that before it does any difference.
Hunting, they're looking around looking for him too. They find a ward that was placed outside instantly. And get close to warning his level 25. Roshan is up. They have Courier scouting it. But
As we say, MudGolems can they can take their time. Yep. It's not necessarily going to get any harder for them as moments pass. I mean, sure, Navi's able to start getting a farm on their course, but it's not like MudGolems around the map doing nothing. They're going to do it.
they're doing it. Skitter, they're giving Skitter the eggs. So he's going to eat someone. They're going to do the triple toss in, I feel like.
Oh,
They're
that's
doing this for the
amazing.
fun.
Right, who are they taking it? Who's going in then? 33? You're taking 33 into the front lines?
Wait, that's not even what the Aghanims does. The Lifestealer Aghanims is just the buff when he does them. That's right,
yeah.
they moved it to the punch.
Oh, dude, why are you trying to debate everyone here? Debated me. I made it my analyst. I was trusting you.
I forgot that it's
trusted
shouldn't we
you.
bought Ags in so long on this game. Come on, man, I forgot. I forgot it's the one where you can raise for your team.
Yeah, you get the big hit.
They swapped that in the punch one. My bad. Well, that's really good too, because then he can jump inside the Lina and pop rage too. You've seen him do a lot of times. And look, Borny can go. Yeah. With Blood Rage on top too. Blood Rage, Rage, it's all good.
Oh, they're losing the base. Navi's going to have to do something.
Fallen.
35,000 gold behind right now. Are they getting out the celebratory drums for these final sieges?
Oh, he bought more charges.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He had the drum actually.
He did. I mean, those drum charges, they're going to help speed it up a little bit.
Throws a creep in. Borny again. So
I mean, how'd you stop this lead-up? You just continue to do this. Just jump in the lean up to the high ground, hit racks. Nothing enough. You have to go through that magic immunity. Skinner's going to take a turn himself. Taking quite a bit of a hit, but he has the Aegis, so he's not scared, and he of course has the backup of his team. Saves of that. Cookie in the tether from Milan, keeping Skeeter fine. Got to make a move sooner than later. No. Maybe we're already too far in the later part of the equation.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Tier 4 is getting killed by creeps. They just have to sit at the wall here, trying to pop more DK. Go with the rage.
He's just going to the iceberg. Iceberg's going to get taken out. He's got a buyback. He's going to use it straight away. Roger goes down. Dive away from the Phoenix. General's caught across the sides. Skeeter's on top of him. Cookie over. Does manage to get the spin, but a scatter blast to the face from Fada takes down General. Dead for 90. MudGolems can resume business down the middle. There we have it. GG, well played is caught in. Do manage to push it on to the 40th minute again. But even more of a lead in a beat down here for MudGolems this time. 41,000 gold lead at the end of it all. 33-11. Just looking pretty good right now, this MudGolems squad. And